Payday 3 have announced some huge changes coming to the game as we know it right now. So today I'm going to be going through all those changes and all the details they've supplied that you need to know about the future of Payday 3. So they've umbrelled this under what's called Operation Medic Bag. What they've done is they've summarized all the feedback from the community, and when I say feedback, they've gathered stuff from the likes of online forums, their own official forum which you could give feedback on their website, on the likes of things like Reddit, Steam reviews, etc. And they have identified what they believe will be some of the most impactful changes to Payday 3, and they've also supplied a graphic on social media which I'll be showing on screen right now, and that kind of summarizes everything that I'm going to be mentioning today. So with the feedback, they kind of narrowed it down to some major categories that they wanted to identify. So the first one was optimization and reliability, and this covers performance and consistency of finding games, UI improvements, and technical issues such as crashes. The second category was teamwork and co-op, and this covers making playing with others easier. It's including communication tools such as voice IP and text chat and how your party is made up and how you communicate. The third category was replayability and progression, and this covers features that may make playing a game easier and more enjoyable, like sticking with your group and the infamy system. The final category was fantasy and heisting, and this covers a crime.net style map as well as more features to make you feel like a true heister. And they also wanted to tackle the biggest community topics being discussed. So let's go through those. The first one is probably the most requested one. It's the one that I see quite a lot over on social media, and that's solo mode and offline mode. With this, there are going to be two major changes. They will be developing a standalone solo mode that you can get into without going through the matchmaking flow, and this will be a local game on your machine, thereby circumventing the need to connect to a server. And it's going to be rolled out in two phases. Phase 1 will still require an online connection to the back-end systems for progression and unlocks, etc. And then there's Phase 2, and that will look to improve on the solo mode implementation, allow you to play the game without requiring a constant internet connection. But you will need to connect intermittently to the back end to upload your progression, but otherwise you'll be able to play completely offline. They also mentioned as playing co-op will always be dependent on connecting to another machine somewhere. They're seeking to implement a solution that provides the best balance between reliability, latency, and overall experience. And their technical leadership has been evaluating options for the past months and will be able to share more details on that solution in the near future. Let's talk about the next thing that they wanted to talk about, which was stability, matchmaking, and server browser. So what they've said is matchmaking isn't doing a good job of bringing people together. They've got a number of social and cooperative features planned for the year, as well as rebuilding the matchmaking functionality into a much more robust system. But until those features are implemented, the current matchmaking will be supported by a quick play functionality, ensuring you can reliably play with other players. And later in the year, they're looking to bring back a crime.net style server browser. So you Payday 2 veterans like myself, you can rejoice. The next thing was challenge-based progression, and this was based on feedback as part of the replayability and progression that I mentioned earlier. The current challenge-based progression didn't achieve the goals the devs intended, so they've decided to discontinue with the current system, and the challenges will be removed, and they will switch infamy progression to a tied to heist completion. And they're going to revisit all the current heist payout values, adding scaling per bag, securing for infamy points, and also a new bonus that rewards loud playstyles. But the existing challenge framework will be repurposed to give cosmetic rewards for hardcore accomplishments instead. Next was a UI revamp. So they're working on creating a more intuitive UI that better explains what's happening around the player, as well as including a simplified friends menu and also a menu UI that better communicates the heisting theme. And they'll be rolling out improvements and eventually revamp of most of the current UI during 2024. As for new content, they intend to deliver on and expand their promises for new content. There are 3 DLCs still planned for 2024, and they intend to add another free heist for Payday 3 in this same period, and they'll also be rolling out skill lines, cosmetic items, rewards, a free LMG primary, and much more throughout the year. Talking of DLC, they also touched on the DLC pricing. And due to the feedback of not meeting the players' expectations, the DLC pricing is currently under review. So maybe expect a reduction in price for future DLCs. That's all the information they gave on DLC pricing. They also touched on Unreal Engine 5. If you didn't know, they were planning to do an upgrade to Unreal Engine 5, but the devs have been reallocated that were working on that to work on the improvements to the Payday 3 experience instead, as the UE5 update wouldn't directly fix the current problems, and they will come back to this topic once they're able to. They also touched on the in-game store. This is going to be a bit more far in the future, as they've said once they're satisfied with the improvements they're intending to with Payday 3, they'll then revisit the in-game store in 2025. The last thing was initial focus. So they've said that many things mentioned need preparation or other features in place to be implementable, and there are a number of items that they can start working on immediately. And they've got a list of goals that they'd like to finish by summer 2024. And although they've not gone into great detail, they have listed them, and this is what they're going to be working on for summer this year, or aimed to be summer this year. Quick Play V1, loadout renaming, recurring smaller content drops, controller improvements, vote kick, rotating stealth modifiers, unready button, play again feature, merge players into party post-match, daily activities with rewards, mask vendor with weekly rotating of inventory, communication wheel improvements version 1. A good start if we get all those by summer this year. They've also said they will be holding a Reddit Ask Me Anything next week, so that's the week commencing 19th of February 2024, depending on when you watch this video. And they'll also be releasing the first of the Payday 3 developer blogs next week as well, and throughout the year they will dive into the topics mentioned in the video to keep everyone informed on the progress, and they'll continue to push out regular game updates and new content, balancing, and more. And that's it. That's all the changes that they mentioned that should be coming majoritively this year. What do you think of those changes? Are they in the right direction? Are they not? I think it's good that they're going to be communicating a lot more. It's what we need. But as the old saying goes, actions speak louder than words. So let's hope they can act on what they have promised in this new piece of information that we've got for the game. And that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found it informative or you found it helpful and let's see more content than this one, make sure you're subscribed. I make other types of content as well as Payday 3, racing and simulation mainly. So stick around for that if that interests you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.